My name's Charles, and I'm the founder of an early stage music startup called Backstage B. Backstage B is a platform tool whose goal is to totally change the way we handle live concerts today. It will make it much simpler and easier for an up-and-coming band or an independent artist to raise money to finance a live concert or tour, and it's going to be able to take complex logistics planning that often goes into live touring and simplify it and make it easy for everyone to understand. It's a very challenging problem to solve, but it's one that's very, very vital to the music ecosystem today. Musicians can't depend on the album or streaming revenue to support them, but they can demand on the growing demand for live music.
Backstage B's platform is going to be open to all levels of the live concert community, but I'm certain that it's going to be particularly valuable for up-and-coming or independent musicians who are frequently running bootstrapped operations and don't have the benefit of a corporate industry backer. The current state of the music industry today, with the rise of streaming services and the corresponding collapse in album revenues, it's hit this group of musicians particularly hard. You can no longer depend on album revenues to underwrite and subsidize a concert tour. So because of this, in spite of a growing demand for live music today, it's actually harder to financially justify going on tour than it was 20 years ago. Backstage B is going to change that. The fundamental goal of Backstage B is to shift the economics of live music back into the hands of the artist. Backstage B wants to make sure an artist has as much financial control over their career as possible. You shouldn't have to choose between creative and innovative or being commercially viable. These two worlds should be able to come together as one. Fortunately, with the modern tools of social media and data science, we can make this dream a reality. Imagine being on the road and for the first time in your music career, the only concern you have is whether or not you're putting on great live music. Imagine not having basic concerns like, hey, do we have enough money to pay that member of the crew? Or, hey, do we have enough money for hotel rooms tonight? Or, hey, do we at least have enough money to put gas in the van so we can drive on to our next gig? These are common problems that every musician's faced before, and I think we can come up with better ways to solve them. Imagine being in a world where you're not concerned about fronting a deposit to a venue that you know you're going to do well at. And even if you can't front that deposit, you're not going to have to depend on some shady middleman to do it. You're not going to have to depend on people that have bad reputations of paying artists on time. Imagine a tool that's smart enough that it can automatically match you and your open calendar dates with the open calendar dates at venues in markets you know you're going to do well at. And imagine that if this matching tool was smart enough that it could even budget for travel time and estimate concert expenses, so you can make a good judgment whether or not the event is economically viable. Think of all the headaches that come with going on tour. Think of all the challenges that come with touring logistics. Backstage B has thought a lot about them too, and has come up with great ways to simplify and automate the process for everybody.
This campaign is raising funds to help us move the project forward. Your funds will go towards helping us cover office expenses and early development costs. On top of that, we're also laying a foundation to stay connected with the very community that's going to make Backstage B successful. I know the closer relationship we have with venues and artists and fans, the more likely we're going to create a tool out of understanding of how all three of these parties work. I think that includes a financial relationship as well. So this will be likely the first of many campaigns in the future as we continue to make progress on the project. I hope to ultimately build up to an equity crowdfund raise right here on Indiegogo's new equity platform. So I want to thank everyone ahead of time if you're volunteering your time, giving us advice, or of course donating money. And I also want to thank anyone who might feel tempted to forward this campaign to a friend simply because they think it's a really cool and very important idea. So we'll keep you updated as our progress gets made, but once more, thanks again.